नमस्कार. आयच्या डिबेटात तुमकां सगळ्याक येवकार. आनी विशय आसा तो म्हळ्यार पणजेचो स्मार्ट सिटीचे डम प्लॅनिंग. आनी हें कित्या खातीर जालां, लोकांनी कितले दीस हें सहन करपाचें. आनी आज जेन्ना सरकार सांगता, CCP सांगता किंवा आमगे अधिकारी सांगतात की आमी सद्याक सगळें जें फोडलां तें पुरयतले आनी मागीर पावसा उपरांत परत फोडटले म्हणून, हो स्मार्टनेस जो आसा हातूंतल्यान स्मार्टनेस येतलो काय आमकां एब्सेंस ऑफ कॉमन सेन्स सद्या दिसपाक लागला अशी परिस्थिती आहा. 3 मानेस आसा म्हजे स्टुडियो भितर. पयले आसात CCPचे आदले डेप्युटी मेयर कबीर मकीजा पिंटो. कबीर, वेलकम. दुसरे आसात म्हणजे परत CCPचे आदले डेप्युटी मेयर वसंत आक्षीकर. वसंत, वेलकम. आणि तिसरे आसात म्हणजे बरोबर गोंयांतले एक नामनेचे एक्टिविस्ट आणि CCPचे आदले कॉर्पोरेटर पॅट्रिशिया पिंटो. कबीर, आय स्टार्ट विथ यू. तुम्ही तरी समाधानी आसात बिकॉज यू हॅव बीन इन द पावर इन द कॉर्पोरेशन. सद्याक जे कितें चल्लां, ज्या तरेन चल्लां, तातूंत भितर तुका इल्लो तरी स्मार्टनेस दिसता काय कितें?
See, Pramod, I mean, when Panjim was declared this thing for smart city, I mean, there was a lot of happiness all around because a lot of the infrastructure projects which, couldn't be completed due to lack of funds and etc. were being given a chance to be completed, and Panjim was going to get an overall an overall boost basically in terms of infrastructure. Now I don't see a single Panjimite who doesn't want this development. Everybody is for this development because it entails various things, be it water, be it sewerage, be it your smart city roads, your walkway, your football ground, and lighting, etc., etc. So I mean, there are a lot of things which are being undertaken under this thing. Now I know, I mean, whenever some sort of development happens, there is always an inconvenience to the public. One short example I'll give you is the new Zuari Bridge. Okay. For several years there was inconvenience. I mean, things could have been tweaked even there. Maybe timings, maybe the traffic police, maybe the traffic flow, all that. And it could have been made a little bit easier on the people commuting. But today that's all a thing of the past. And I believe even Panjim, few months down the line, once things start settling down and falling into place, we will see a much better Panjim as far as these smart city works which have been proposed. But I must add one point, which is a very important point in my perspective. As far as the works are being undertaken by the smart city officials, there is a major lack of coordination between various departments, between the various contractors. The CCP, I don't see them being taken into confidence for most things. The corporators are clueless as to which project is happening, where or when. A couple of presentations were made. We as corporators have requested that whichever projects have been planned and whatever has been designed, the details be shared with the corporators so that they are in a position to then share it with their people. But that took a long time coming. Okay. Now there is, like I said, absolute lack of coordination. There is no proper plan. You go to a certain road, you dig up, but at what cost? You're breaking people's water pipelines. You're breaking electricity.
I believe, Kabir, nobody has a clear idea of what is there beneath. Nobody has a plan. Nobody has a plan of pipelines. Nobody has a plan of electricity lines. On that part, Vasant, तुमचो अनुभव कितें? कारण लोक तुमकां फोन करतात, बट अल्टिमेटली अशी परिस्थिती आहे की काल एक रोड इनॉग्रेट जालो कांपालाचेर. थंय परिस्थिती अशी की लोकांक त्रास सोंसचे पडटले. कांय दीस त्रास काडल्यारूच ह्यो गजाली जातल्यो, ही भाशा. बट म्हाका दिसता लोकांक त्रास सोंसपाक पणजे प्रॉब्लेम ना. लोक म्हणटात की एटलिस्ट प्लॅन करून सांगात की हें आमी स्टार्ट करतात, अमके दीस लागतले, अशे तरेन पर्यायी वेवस्था करया. तुमचो अनुभव कितें वसंत बाब?
ओवरऑल जे कितें पणजेन सध्या चल्लां ताचे वयल्यान अशें दिसून येता की सिटिझन्साच्या एक मनान खूब दुबाव आनी खूब प्रश्न निर्माण जाता. म्हाका दिसता हे जे पणजेन जे डेव्हलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट चालू आसा, म्हणजे पणजेक सामकी गरज आशिल्ली. 1960च्यो ज्यो आमच्यो सिवरेज लायनी त्यो चेंज जावप सामक्यो गरजेच्यो आशिल्ल्यो. तशेंच आमचे ओल्ड वॉटर पायपलायन चेंज जावप आमी सदांच जे म्हणटा की आमकां युटिलिटी डक्ट्स येवपाक जाय, हाजे फुडें रस्ते तोडपाक जायना, परत परत फोडपाक जायना, त्या खातीर स्मार्ट रोड्स, नव्यो स्ट्रीट लायट्स हे सगळें आमकां जाय. आनी हे जर आमकां जाय जाल्यार आमकां हे थोडे त्रास सोंसचे पडटले. पूण तातूंत प्रश्न असो येता की जर सिटिझन्सांक आनी आमकां कॉर्पोरेटरांक जर वेवस्थीत कळत की बाबा येणाऱ्या दिसान आमकां हे सगळ्यो सुविधा मेळपाच्यो आसा, जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता सगळ्यांक एक दिलासो मेळटलो, एक जिवाक बरें दिसतलें की आमकां येणाऱ्या दिसान हे मेळपाचें आसा. म्हणजे ज्यो आमच्यो बांयो कंटेमिनेट जाता सिवरेजी खातीर, किंवा उदक आमचें वेस्ट जाता, किंवा आमच्यो स्ट्रीट लायट्स सारक्यो चलना, तें जर सगळें इम्प्रूव जाता आनी ते जर आमकां सुविधा मेळटा जाल्यार आमकां आमकां एज कॉर्पोरेटर्स प्रेजेंटेशन एक दिल्लें, पूण मातशें जर वेवस्थीत डिटेलिंगान तशेंच पब्लीक एंगेजमेंट तर जालो, पब्लीक एंगेजमेंट वाडलो जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता लोकांचो कॉन्फिडन्स वाडटलो की येणाऱ्या दिसान आमकां बऱ्यो सुविधा मेळटल्यो. आनी मेन कितें जाता, जशें आमच्या कबीर बाबान सांगलें तशें डिपार्टमेंटल कॉर्डिनेशन हें खूब डिफिकल्ट जाता. कारण पणजे जरी कॉर्पोरेशन म्हणलें जाल्यार भायर जी आमी कॉर्पोरेशनां पळयता तातूंतूच हेल्थ, तातूंतूच एड्युकेशन, तातूंतूच सिवरेज, तातूंतूच वॉटर सप्लाय कॉर्पोरेशनाच्या अंडर सगळें येता. पूण हांगा अनफॉर्च्युनेटली आमकां फक्त एक वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट आनी बारीक असो रोल आमचो CCBचो उरता. सो येणाऱ्या काळान जर म्हाका दिसता आमकां खरेंच स्मार्ट जावपाक जाय जाल्यार अंडर वन रूफ, म्हणजे 10 डिपार्टमेंटां न घेता एक कॉर्पोरेशनाच्या अंडरूच जर सगळीं कामां घेतलीं जाल्यार कामां सुरळीत जातलीं. आनी हे सगळें जे हेफ हॅजार्ड प्लॅनिंग ऑर डिपार्टमेंटल कॉर्डिनेशन न जावप हे म्हाका दिसता एलिमिनेट जातलें.
I'll go into the details of those, but before that, Patricia ma'am, how much smartness do you find in what's happening right now?
Pramod, actually, if you ask me, I can see Panjim city crumbling. It's just going from bad to worse. We were one of the best cities, I would say, in Goa. I used to always be proud of Panjim city, but not now. It's just crumbling. And we need someone to take charge of the city. And I believe that it is the corporation who should take charge of the city. Unfortunately, the corporation seems to be washing off their hands, saying that we don't know what is happening. We can do nothing, nobody's listening to us, and this is really shocking. When the corporation washes off their hands, why do we need a corporation in the first place? So this is a huge problem, and I don't see, we kept asking for the plans, citizens kept asking for the plans. In fact, we wrote letters, one letter as far as 1st November last year, 22. We wrote a letter to the MLA of the city. We said, please, can we have a presentation, because people want to know what is happening. We wrote a letter to the mayor of the city. We sent reminders. We keep phoning them up. But till today, the corporation has not had a presentation for the people. They've not told us what is happening. Unfortunately, we have to go from pillar to post or ask under Right to Information Act. We are spending a lot of money asking for information. And I don't think citizens should be running about like this, asking for information under Right to Information Act, which we get after 1 month. And that's how we come to know what is happening. We still don't know. There are about 35 to 40 projects, I believe, or maybe more. So I've just got the minutes of the IPSCDL meetings, that is the board of the smart city. And the directors on the board, besides others, is the MLA of Panjim, the mayor of Panjim, the commission of Panjim. So they cannot say they don't know what is happening in the city. This is very shocking. And till today, even after phone calls, we are not getting any presentation for the people.
Ma'am, before I go to Kabir again, one point that is being consistently made is the kind of roads or smart roads we are making with these duct lines, the new sewage line and everything. Do you think that is an absolute necessity right now? The issue is only with planning and execution and not with the motive behind the whole thing?
See, I don't look at superficial beautification of roads. When we make any road or do any improvement in the city, ultimately the city should work. Just stop beautification will not help. Now, how can you plan a city if you say you have no plans? You don't have the underground plans at all. You don't know what is the underground drainage system. You don't know what is the underground water pipeline. You don't know what is the underground electrical system. This is what I've been told even on today, that we have no plans. So if you have no plans, why did you start digging up the city? I think anyone has to plan first and then execute. You don't execute and then, try to firefight and,
Yeah, as
try
the
to
work
alter
progresses.
something as the work progresses. I have seen drains, stormwater drains being broken. I even ran to the corporation office saying that so-and-so drain is being broken, please send a supervisor or the engineer. But unfortunately, the corporation says nobody is listening to us. Now this is shocking. When you say nobody is listening to us, who do the citizens
Where does
run
the
to?
buck stop?
Where does the buck stop? Who do the citizens run to? I even went to the extent of saying, if nobody is listening to you all, why don't you all resign en masse, at least in protest?
ऑन दॅट पॉइंट कबीर देर आर 2 पॉयंट्स नाव. एक ताणें मुद्दो काडलो तो स्टॉर्म वॉटर ड्रेनाचो. आज जेन्ना CCP म्हणटा अँड बिकॉज इट इज युअर एरिया, वसंताची एरिये सुद्दां अशी परिस्थिती आहा की आमी कांयच करनासतना पणजी बुडटा पावस पडलो की. आज जेन्ना ह्यो ड्रेन्स पुरयल्यात and then we are talking about just carpeting everything. So before monsoons, by giving a reason of G20, we'll come to that later. आणि पावसाक कितें जातलें? एज अ सिटीजन, सिंपल क्वेश्चन इज पावसाक कितें जातलें? एनीवे जेन्ना थोडी ड्रेन्स चोकअप जाल्यो, थोडी ड्रेन्स ल्हान जाल्ल्यो आनी बुडटाले. आज जेन्ना पुरयल्यात आनी परत त्यो ड्रेन्स ओपन करतात अशें म्हाका तरी दिसना सद्या तरी. त्यो ओपन करून मागीर कार्पेटींग करतले. What is going to be the state of the city when the monsoon comes?
Pramod Bob, the way, like I said, the way we are progressing, without any proper planning, without getting all the various departments, in sync with one another, if this carries on, then definitely Panjim is in for trouble during these monsoons. But I'm still saying, if you get your act together in the next couple of months, what I'm not able to understand is, you are digging up each and every road. Why don't you take road by road? Why don't you finish that particular stretch of road? Reinstate that. You don't have to hot mix it, or you don't, whatever is planned for that road, you don't have to this thing, but reinstate that road. People's businesses are getting affected. Drainage is going for a toss. In the garb of us doing sewage and maybe laying water pipelines, somewhere else drains are going for a toss. Like you said, Panjim always has some amount of flooding when it's like high tide and those very heavy monsoon, rainfall during those particular days of the year. Now, if that is going to happen, and that will definitely happen, and if we are still going to be accumulating.
And imagine a city without a drainage system.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you are asking for trouble.
Vasant, tu kit dista? Because are you worried? My first point is because for G20 cher येऊया आम्ही, but right now it seems like चल घालया सगळे वेल्यान कार्पेटींग करया, पावस वचू दी, मागीर पळोवया. बट पावस वचू दी हो जो थॉट आसा ते पावसाक कितें जातलें? डोंट यू थिंक हो थॉट चड भयंकर आहा?
जे म्हजे वॉर्डानूच एक्चुअली जी युनिवर्सल फुटपाथ जो प्रोजेक्ट आसा तो म्हजे वॉर्डान म्हणजे महालक्ष्मी देवळाचे मुखार स्टार्ट जाल्ली. आनी आज ते म्हाका दिसता तो रस्तो एक्सीस बँकच्या मातशे फुडें आजरेकार म्हणसर ओपन जालो. पूण ते पळयता आसतना मातसो एक खंय तरी भंय दिसता, कित्याक आल्तीनचे घसघशीत उदक आनी त्यो दोनी सायडीन
just for understanding of the people, if I'm not mistaken, one of the major drainage this thing used to go through your ward, right?
Correct.
Altina वेल्यान येता.
आल्तीना वयल्यान येता.
आज जेन्ना ती ड्रेनेज ओपन केल्ली, थंय काम स्टार्ट केल्लें आनी आज कार्पेटींग जाला. इज देर अ वे फॉर द वॉटर? आय एम आस्किंग व्हेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन. जेन्ना ह्या पावसाक उदक देंवतलें आल्तीना वेल्यान, इज देर अ वे फॉर द वॉटर टू गो आउट ऑफ द सिटी?
ना, म्हजो एक्चुअली एक मेन एंग्जायटी जाता म्हाका ती, म्हणजे दोन सायडीन ड्रेन्स आशिल्ले आनी त्यो दोनी सायडीच्यो ड्रेन्स पुरयल्या आनी एक व्हडली ड्रेन मदल्यान घाल्या आनी अशें आमकां सांगलां की एक स्लोप दिला रस्त्याचे दोनूय बाजू आनी तें उदक मदीं येवन वतलें. आतां कन्सल्टंटा प्रमाणे ते ताणें आपले त्यांची इंजिनियरींग स्टडी कितें आसता उदकाच्या पावसाची आनी ते फ्लो, आमी कॉमन मॅन जाता आमकां कॉमन मॅनांक ते टेक्निकल भाशा
आय
कळना.
एम आस्किंग अ व्हेरी सिंपल थिंग वेदर थंय जी ड्रेनेज सिस्टम नवीन तयार केलं म्हणटात
म्हाका ताजेर-
तिची कनेक्शन वरून मुखार जोडला काय कितें काय ती
ना,
अर्द्यारूच सोंपता.
सध्या कितें जाला, सध्या तांणी जे केला ओपन केला तितलेच उरला आनी तांचें म्हणणें आसा की फुडें मांडवी पर्यंत ती उदकान सोडटले, म्हणजे ते येणाऱ्या काळान जातले. पूण सध्या हे पावसाक म्हाका दिसता आमकां पणजेकारांक मातशे खूब
ते
त्रास
पोवचे
जातलो
पडटले?
अशें दिसता. त्रास पडटलो असो दिसता. आनी म्हज्या हिसपान कशें आसा, आमी जर त्यो ओल्ड पोर्चुगीज टायमार ड्रेन्स आशिल्ल्यो, सो ताजी विड्थ खूब रुंद आसा,
हय.
डेप्थ खूब व्हडली आसा, ती जर आमी क्लीन करपाक जर यशस्वी जाल्ले जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता हें सगळें नवें करपाची गरज नाशिल्ली. कित्याक आशिल्लें आमकां जर पयलींच्यांनी आमच्या जाणट्यांनी कितें दिल्लें तेंच सांबाळप गरजेचें आसता. आनी तें जर आमी सांबाळलें, ती डेप्थ वाडयल्ली, ताजी होल्डिंग कॅपॅसिटी वाडपाची आनी उदक फ्री फ्लो मांडवीन वचपाचें. सो आतां हातून म्हाका मातशी शंका दिसता की येणाऱ्या पावसान पणजेकारांक आमकां स्पेशली सेंट्रल पणजे भाग
करेक्ट.
ऑलरेडी हाय टायड आनी पावस बरोबर पडत जाल्यार आमी वरभर आमकां उदक पणजेन रोखडेंच
नाही
flood
दॅट इज
जाता
आस्क
दिसता.
दॅट क्वेश्चन व्हेरी स्पेसिफिकली की तुमचे कडेन ती ड्रेन सगळी आशिल्ली ती पुरयल्या, नवीन बांदल्या, पण नवीन बांदली ती ड्रेन जी आसा ती मुखार कनेक्टच केली ना
ती सध्या
उदक
कांय connect
मांडवीक
जावना.
वचपा खातीर.
ते सध्या कनेक्ट जावना.
आनी
ते जर-
कार्पेटींग जालें.
आतां जशें तुमी म्हणटात G20 खातीर जर मदीं हॉल्ट घेतलो जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता वी आर इनवायटींग ट्रबल.
या
सो म्हाका दिसता कन्सल्टंट आनी तांचे जे वर्क ऑर्डर कोणाक दिल्या ते कॉन्ट्रॅक्टराक, दे शूड एक्चुली वर्क ओवर टायम. हांगा जाता कितें, ते गव्हर्मेंट सर्वंट कशे 10 येता 5 वता. जितल्या लोकांक इनकन्विनियन्स जाता, बिझनस म्हणा किंवा कोणाक पेडेस्ट्रियनांक चलपाक वर पार्किंग, जाल्यार हे 3 शिफ्टींनी काम चलपाक जाय आशिल्लें. पूण अनफॉर्च्युनेटली हे एकूच शिफ्ट सुद्दां गव्हर्मेंट टायप 10 ते 5 म्हणसर करता आनी ते चल्ले.
And very the irony of the situation is that is the exact time when Panaji has most populated.
आनी एक नजरेन येता कितें, जेन्ना अशी कामां करता, जेन्ना इतली ड्रेन आसा पयलींच्यो, एक बरे जाणकार मनशाक थंयच्या विचारून हें करप आसता.
Correct.
हांगा जालां कितें, ते कोण तरी कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर येता, ते फोडटा, ते चल्ले. पुणून इशू कितें, तांकां भितरले एक्झॅक्ट प्लॅन्स आनी हे तांकांच खबर ना. ते घालता, फोडटात. फाल्यां कन्सल्टंट आनी कोण येता इंजिनियर, हे अशें न्ही अशें करपाचें. सो एक म्हज्या हिसपान जंय कामां चलतात, एक सिनियर इंजिनियर जाका प्रोजेक्टाची डिटेल इन्फॉर्मेशन आहा ताणें कंटिन्युअस आसपाक जाय. सायन बोर्ड्स आसपाक जाय
या
सायडीर.
करेक्ट.
ना जाल्यार सध्या पब्लिकाक कांयच चलना. आपल्या दारान कितें चल्लां तें.
पेटिशा मॅम हो इंटरेस्टिंग पॉयंट आहे की ज्या टायमार पणजे सगळ्यात चड लोक असतात त्या टायमार काम चालू असता आणि ज्या टायमार पणजे इज लेस पॉप्युलेटेड त्या टायमार काम बंद असता. अशे तरेन हो सरकारी कारभार चल्ला. मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट पॉयंट अबाउट G20, द रिझन दॅट इज बीन गिवन टू अस की बिकॉज ऑफ G20 we are doing this carpeting and we'll reopen it after the monsoon. We went through the schedule of G20 in all aspects. There is not a single event happening inside the city. Nothing is happening. And yet government has chosen this route to stall the work right now, stop the work right now, recarpet it and then reopen it again. What is your research telling you about this major decision of suddenly stopping the work?
If you ask me, I think everybody wants to have a picnic in Goa. I've been saying this even to the press. They just want to come to Goa with any excuse, knowing that this is like a war zone. Isn't a center even interested or bothered about what's happening to the people? Isn't a state government
ma'am,
interested?
there is not even an event planned inside the city where the work is
so
going
why,
on.
So why stop the work?
Yeah.
Why stop the work? Can't the state government come forward or the corporation come forward and say, let us continue our work? So close the thing, open it up again. I think this is just, lack of interest. Like I say, a picnic spot, do something in Goa and go. Just bombard this city as much as you can. I think there is someone has to take the responsibility for the city. In my opinion, it is the corporation of the city of Panjim. They cannot wash their hands away. The smart city people approve plans, as they say, only from the financial point of view. They have nothing to do after that. They have no supervisors. They are not checking anything except during their meetings where they'll ask what work has been completed or what work has not been completed. Then they say it is up to the contractor. Means if a contract is given to GSIDC, it's the GSIDC to see that they do it. If it's given to WRD, they will do it. PWD, they will do it, but there's nobody coordinating everything. So who's supposed to coordinate? This is the question. Is CCP not supposed to coordinate? Let CCP say that, no, we are not supposed to coordinate. Let anything happen. Let the city be dug up. Let anything happen to the city. We are not bothered. But then, when there are problems, if the city gets flooded, who will be pulled up?
Vasant, on that, before I go to Kabir, why do you think CCP is not taking the responsibility?
जशें हांवें उदोळ म्हणलां तशें कशें जाता सगळे सिटीनी बाकीच्यो सर्विसीस ज्यो आसता म्हणजे वॉटर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आनी हेल्थ आनी हे सगळे अंडर CCP येता. अनफॉर्च्युनेटली आमचे हातून कांयच ना. आमचे कडेन फक्त एक वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट आनी परमिशन आनी ट्रेड लायसन्स तितल्या पुरतीच आमी मर्यादीत उरले. म्हणून म्हाका दिसता CCP जशें मॅडमीन म्हणलें पब्लीक रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह म्हणजे सगळे निवडून 30 जाणां आयिल्ले आसता थंय. आयज CCP वी शूड ओन अप दीस प्रोजेक्ट्स कित्याक हे शेवटी आमच्या खातीर प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा आनी ते खातीर आमी थोड्यो गजालीन आमी वी शूड पुट आवर फूट डावन की आमकां टायम लायन ताजो प्रोजेक्ट स्टेटस प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट्स हे कॉर्पोरेशना कडेन टायम टू टायम येवपाक जाय आनी कॉर्पोरेशन शूड बी कॉलिंग द शॉट्स की बाबा एक्झाम्पल आतां महालक्ष्मीच्या दारान एक रथसप्तम आसता तेच दिसा जर फोडले जाल्यार कशें जातलें किंवा चर्चीच्या दारान जर फेस्त आसलें तेच दिसा फोडले जाल्यार कशें जातलें. ते खातीर निवडून आयिल्ले प्रतिनिधी हांकां ते एरियेची चड जाण आसता म्हणून कॉर्पोरेशन आनी कॉर्पोरेटर्सांक टायमली परत परत ते प्रोजेक्टाक इन्वॉल्वमेंट आसप गरजेचें. हांगा जालां कितें कॉर्पोरेशन आनी प्रोजेक्ट जाल्यार लिंकूच ना. उदो कबिरान म्हणला तशें कॉर्पोरेटरांक खबरूच नासता की आपल्या वॉर्डान प्रोजेक्ट इनॉग्रेट जाला काय सोंपल्या काय कितें तें. सो अशी परिस्थिती जावपाक जायना. आनी एक कितें आसा म्हाका एक पॉयंट मुद्दम नदरेन हाडपाक जाय म्हणजे आमी आतां डिपार्टमेंटल कॉर्डिनेशन आनी कॉर्पोरेशनाचेर उलयता. सगळ्यान म्हत्वाचो पॉयंट गोंयान पावस खूब पडटा. सो आमकां मेळटा ऑक्टोबर ते एप्रील.
करेक्ट.
सो आमी प्लॅनिंग केन्ना करपाक जाय सबंद मॉन्सून टायमान
तो टायम घेवन प्लॅनिंग जावपाक जाय.
आमी जेन्ना ऑक्टोबर जाता तेन्ना उठटा की काम करपाक जाय. सगळो जो पेपर वर्क आसत टेंडरींग आसत शेड्युलिंग आसत हे ऑक्टोबर
पावसा दिसांनी जावपाक जाय
आनी ऑन पेपर आमचे कडेन सगळो प्लॅन रेडी आसपाक जाय A to Z. आमी जर ऑक्टोबरान उठतले मागीर वर्क ऑर्डरी दितले डिसेंबरान मागीर पीक सिजनान इफी आसतली फेस्त आसतले आमी ते दिसांनी फोडटले जाल्यार लोकांच्यो गाळ्यो खावच्योच पडटल्यो. सो ऑक्टोबर म्हणल्यार आमी रेडी आसपाक जाय.
बट वसंत, डू यू बिलीव इन दिस G20 थिंग की सडनली पणजेचे रस्ते आमी काम स्टॉप करून रिकार्पेट करतात बिकॉज ऑफ G20 वेन इफ यू लुक एट द शेड्यूल देर इज नथिंग हॅपनिंग इन द सिटी एज फार एज द G20 मिटिंग्स आर कन्सर्न.
ते बरोबर आसा. G20 एक इंडिया आतां सद्या प्रेसिडेन्सी आशिल्ल्या कारणान एक तांणी गोंयाक संदी दिली हे म्हाका दिसता आमचे एक आमी लकी म्हणपाचें. पुणून सद्याक पणजेन जशी स्थिती आसा आनी वी आर स्लायटली लॅगिंग बिहायंड बिकॉज ऑफ वेरियस रिजन्स. इट कुड हॅव बीन शिफ्टेड इन द कोस्टल बेल्ट. जशें ब्रिक्स जेन्ना हें जाल्लो समीट ते साऊथ गोवान केल्लो किंवा डिफेन्स एक्सपो जाल्लो तो साऊथ गोवान केल्लो. तशें साऊथ गोवान जर केल्लें जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता पणजेकारांक कांयच हरकत आसपाची न्ही.
ना पण हांव ताच्या मुखारलो प्रश्न जाता खरेंच पणजे कितें जावपाचें तरी आसा काय कितें.
ना तेच म्हणटा म्हणजे कशें जाता जर क्लॅरिटी आसली की G20 पणजेन आसची ना आनी आमची कामां आमी म्हाका दिसता कॉर्पोरेशन म्हूण फूट डावन दवरचें पडपाचें गव्हर्मेंटा समोर की बाबा आमी ऑलरेडी फाटीं आसा आनी फाटीं उरले जाल्यार प्रोजेक्ट डिले जायत रावतलो पावस येतलो मागीर एक्सकलेशन म्हूण कॉस्ट वाडटलो मागीर कॉन्ट्रॅक्टराच्यो सगळ्यो भानगडी. सो हे न करता आमी फूट डावन धरून कॉर्पोरेशनान सांगचें पडटलें गव्हर्मेंटाक की G20 वेलकम आसा गोंयान पुणून पणजेन हे फावटी नाका नेक्स्ट टायम केन्ना तरी आमी करुया आनी पणजेची कामां फास्ट ट्रॅक जावन लोकांक बेगीतले बेगीन हे सगळे त्रासांच्यान भायर सोडूंक मेळटलो अशें जावपाक जाय.
Kabir, do you believe this G20 thing? Because it's a great summit. We are fortunate to get those meetings, but if we see the schedule, none of those meetings are planned inside the city.
No,
so what's happening?
I totally agree with Vasant on this point. It is a prestigious thing for Goa to be selected, for even to have a meeting here and whatever. But like you mentioned, which I'm hearing for the first time, I mean, you know the schedule or the whatever regarding the G20, and that nothing is happening in Panjim. Then I would really request the CCP to write to the government and ask them to reconsider this decision of, because already several months have passed with inconvenience to the entire city. And now whatever works are there, I mean, rather than duplicating and triplicating it by hot mixing and restarting it, let us just finish it at one stretch. From now till March or as fast as we can finish and whatever was scheduled. Let us not let G20 come into the thing if it's not concerning Panjim. Like Vasant, I agree, it can be moved to South Goa where maybe the infrastructure is better suited at the present moment. But yes, they are definitely welcome, I mean, in the future. And let's hope Panjim and all
Yeah,
these
absolutely.
particular works are
गोंया भितर ह्यो बसका जावच्यो,
are completed.
मिटिंग्स जावच्यो, सगळे जावचे.
Yeah.
बट लेट देयर बी अगेन सम प्लॅनिंग की ज्या जाग्यार काम चलता त्या जाग्यार हाडून मिटींग करनाकात. आणि सद्याक तर अशी परिस्थिती आहा की खंयची तरी मिटींग इनसायड द सिटी प्लॅन केला अशें आमच्या कोणाच्याच नदरेक आयिल्लें ना. मॅम फायनली यू सेड दॅट CCP कॅनॉट वॉश इट्स हँड्स अवे. बट the manner in which this is happening, and if this is the present situation that we are going to recarpet it and reopen it, what is your expectation, at least when we are going to reopen it now, if we probably survive the monsoon and the consequences of that?
I don't know. I find that, without planning, even we carpet it and reopen it and whatever we do, I think in the end, we are going to really destroy what is underground. That's what I think, and I hope not, but that's what we're going to get. In fact, let me give you an example. The other day, on the one day before the Republic Day, suddenly we had machines coming to Kampal and workers to start digging up the roads in Kampal, and that was for the sewerage network. So one thing, Kampal people are very united and they will just run onto the road if something happens. So people came out and said, what is happening? And then when we found out, they said they're going to do the sewerage network as they are doing in the city. But we said, no, you're not going to touch the roads unless you get us all the plans, the plan of the underground, whatever infrastructure we have underground, superimpose it on your sewage maps, and then we will allow you to dig the roads. Otherwise, we don't want you destroying our other infrastructure. Kampal doesn't get flooded as of now, and we don't want it to get flooded because our drains are pretty good. I'm not saying excellent, but they're pretty good. So we said, unless you get the plan. So we were told, I even told the mayor of the city that I'm stopping the works. He said, go ahead, stop the works. I told the smart city, I'm stopping the works. We're not that we don't want them to do the works, but we want them to do it in a planned way. So the engineer was told to bring all the plans the next day, that is the 27th. She came with the plans, but only the sewage plans without anything superimposed on it. We said, you do it, you put the drainage lines, the electrical lines, and the water pipelines, which are existing underground, and then we will allow you to start the work. So on Monday, all the machines and the workers moved away. There were no plans, and we didn't allow them to do it.
And have they come back?
They've not yet come
They
back.
have not yet come
They've
back.
not yet come
They're
back.
probably searching for the plans.
Probably.
Finally, Vasant, what is your expectation? ह्याच्यानं जाता आता जर परत कार्पेटिंग तर परत स्टार्ट झालंय. सो जर जाता जाल्यार तुमची अपेक्षा कितें क्विकली?
म्हाका एकूच भंय दिसता की रे हे G20च्या बोवाळान कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर पयलींच कशें काम करता. आय थिंक इंजिनियर्स इन पेंजीम नो बेटर. पूण ते G20च्या बोवाळान जर रस्ते कार्पेट करपाचे गडबडीन तांणी जर आशिल्ली कामां कशी केली जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता आमकां येणाऱ्या टायमान आनी त्रास सोंसचे पडटले. कारण कार्पेट तरी ओके एक समजूंक जाता, पुणून ती कामां जी सिवरेज आसत पायपलायन अर्धकाची केले जाल्यार आमी सामकेच त्रासान पडटले. ते जावचे न्हय. आनी स्मार्ट सिटी हो शब्द लोकांक एक कितें तरी आतां सध्या भंय दिसूंक लागला. तो भंय न दिसपाक आमी कॉर्पोरेशनान वी शूड ओन अप द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आणि सगळ्यांक रेग्युलर मिटिंग्स घेऊन सिटीजन एंगेजमेंट इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट.
You also believe that CCP should put its foot down.
100%.
फायनल कबीर आणि बरें सांगलें, स्मार्ट सिटी ह्या शब्द आयकून उमेद येवपा जाय. आतां भंय दिसपा लागला. अशी जावची न्ही म्हणून what is your final quick
There
take?
is a total because of this uncertainty which is created, by this total haphazard planning and faulty execution. I'll give you just one example. Along this, the road has been now done, but about 6, 8, 10 months back, the Bal Bhavan road, it was closed in Bal Bhavan, closed in the fire brigade. They one night they make a trench. They totally almost island of like some 200, 250 residents. They were not even aware that there are people living over there. Twice in that same they have broken the water pipelines. Now, what we have said even in the start, you consult people from that area, or you get a senior person who is well versed with the drainage of that area.
Yeah.
Just don't go without a single plan and break.
Yeah.
By breaking, you're creating a lot of hardships for the people.
But for no reason.
for no reason at all. People want a good development. People are asking for a good this thing with these utilities and all in ducts and whatever. It's very welcome. It's futuristic. But what I'm saying is, when you're doing that, also take into this of the people. Now, ambulances have not been able to reach Kampal Clinic. I am personally witness to this. When I have taken somebody to the hospital, who will take responsibility for that? There should be some coordination between the departments.
एब्सोल्युटली वेळ सारको आपला इतले थांबता हांव परत सगळ्या लोकांक सांगता की पणजेकार तुमी आयच्या पॅनलाचेर पळयलें आसतलें कोणूच कामाक विरोध करना सगळे जाण एकूच गजाल सांगतात पापियानो प्लॅन करात ज्या प्रोजेक्टाचें नांव स्मार्ट सिटी आसा थंय प्लॅनिंग तरी सारकें करात लोकांक विश्वासात घेयात आनी मुखार वचात कारण जर आमच्यो सिवीक बॉडीज जर ऑथॉरिटी कशी वागनात आनी दे डोंट ओन अप टू देअर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी पावसाक कितें जातलें म्हाका खबर ना हांव इतल्याचेर थांबतां पेट्रिशिया मॅम वसंत कबीर थँक्स अ लॉट फॉर पार्टिसिपेटींग पळयत रावात प्रुडंट नमस्कार